All right, so today we are doing step 2 of making pate. If you remember from step 1, we mixed the duck meat, covered it, put it in the refrigerator, and the force meat, which is the pork, liver, and so forth. So those two things are back out of the refrigerator. They've now aged for 3 days, which is what you want to do so that all those spices and olive oil and bay leaves can all sort of permeate the meat. And so today what we're going to do is we're going to mix these two kinds of meats together in this bowl, and then we're going to add some of these other spices. So what we have here is we have rainbow peppers, black peppers from Israel, other black peppers from Madagascar, green peppers from Israel, more rainbow peppers. Now we have mixed those, total of 3 tablespoons in here. Those are ready to go, so we're going to blend those in with the meats. We have pistachio nuts, which we're also going to blend in to give it that nice flavor. Bay leaves, we're going to put bay leaves around the pate as it cooks, along with thyme and a little bit of rosemary, which always makes things good. These are our canning jars. The way these things work is there's a rubber seal which you put around the cover, glass cover, and make sure that the tongue is sticking out to the side. That's the tongue, because if it's not sticking out to the side, it's very hard. The way you open these things after you cook them is you have to break the vacuum inside by pulling the tongue out. So if the tongue is sticking over here under the latch, it's a lot harder to do. So it's sticking out to the side, and it's really hard to pull that sometimes. And there's certain morons I know. One of them being my hunting buddy, who I gave him one of these, and instead of pulling the tongue out, he got a screwdriver and started prying it under and ruined the jar, so we couldn't use it again. So anyway, that's how those work. By the way, Moron is over here, and he probably had a hand in shooting some of these ducks. So. Anyway, here we go. Elsie?
Yeah.
Can you get a wooden spoon? You can do this part.
Okay.
And throw that away. Alright, so just kind of fluff that up in there. That's right. Just get it so it's going to be easier to mix it. Actually, why don't you come over this side so they can see what you're doing on the camera. That's right. Mix a little bit. You mix the peppers a little. The mixing is hard. So you mix a little bit. And then, whoop. All right.
Or just pick up the leaves.
Oh yeah. Well, you don't have to.
Okay.
So the recipe says pick out. Remember we mixed in bay leaves with the duck meat. They tell you to pull them out, but a lot of times I don't do it. I'm just in there. Just a bit. I'll pull this one. All right, you really want to get the pork and the duck meat well mixed together. If you're on this work, anyway. A little more peppers as we go. A little more pistachios as we go. When we're done cooking the pate in these jars, they cook for 2.5 hours in boiling water. There's nothing alive inside of it, and you can store these on a shelf for months before you eat them without any risk. And the way you know that it's still good is when you go to open it. If there's no vacuum when you unclip it, you don't want to eat it, because it means that the air got in and it somehow wasn't sealed. But if you've got the vacuum, it's safe. All right, we are ready to go. So now we get the bacon. So this is bacon. It's not just any bacon, it's uncured bacon. A couple things about uncured bacon. It tastes way better than regular bacon. However, since it's uncured, it is much more subject to bacteria, I guess. And if you let it, you've got to always store it below 40 degrees. If you store it above 40 degrees for too long, I guess it can get bad and kill you. So, but we were careful about that. When I bought it, as soon as I bought it, we froze it, and I just thawed it out last night. So, take this, cut the ends off. So what we do with the bacon is we line the jars with it, and this is what we do. So we're going to cut it. I just cut the bacon like this with a pair of scissors into small pieces. Makes it easy to line the jars. So, Elsie, you want to grab
There's something here elastic.
Oh. Okay, I'll do these over here. Bay leaves. Over this. Over time. Just peel off the pieces of bacon. And cover over. Now, when you load the jars, you want to pack them as much as you can. Get as much into each jar as you can. That's right. Push it down with the spoon. Okay. So that's kind of how full we have it there. It's really nice and full. So smooth it out. Okay. All right. Now, put 2 pieces of bacon on there. And then tuck them in, tuck them in. You don't want anything along the edge of the top. And then put a couple bay leaves and some more of the spices. There you go. Just a couple of sprigs of that. Okay, and then all we do is I like to wipe off the edge of the lid. Make sure there's nothing on there. Like that, and then seal her up. So there she is, all sealed up and ready to cook. Okay. Now for cooking, we're going to do the other jars after, but it's just exactly the same as what we did there. Here's our. Can you stress? Here's our cooking jar, and very simple. We just take our thing and our jar and drop it in there. Make sure that the water covers the top. I'm going to have to add a little hot water there. So as you can see, now the water's completely covering the jar. Let's get it over here so you can actually see. And I'm going to turn it up to high so it boils. And it's basically pork cooking rules. You want to make sure that it gets plenty hot, so we cook it for 2.5 hours. And that is what we need to do. So there it is. And we will finish the other jars, cook them, and then we will come back and take them out a day later, and we will taste the jars. So